Hi Gracie, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, really well, thank you. Thanks so much for catching up with us today. Just wanted to, touch base. We've had 3 lockdowns since we saw you last. We were just saying about how you did manage to get out in summer and go to a couple of shows, but other than that, it's been a pretty odd year for everyone. So yeah, just wanted to catch up what you've been up to in lockdown 3, juggling. Obviously, you're still at school, so you've been juggling your schoolwork and your horses. What horses have you had in, and what work have they been doing?
So I've had 5 in at the minute. I've had Jeb and Rocker doing the dressage, and then I've been getting to know Steve a bit more. And then I've just got Betty and Saman who've been ticking along over the winter, just keeping them going, ready for the spring, hopefully get back out again.
Okay, great. And so what are your aims with Jeb and Rocker?
So Jeb's qualified for the winter regionals and the area festival, so hopefully he'll do well in those. Rocker, he didn't actually manage to qualify for the winter regionals or area festival because of we went into tier 4, so he didn't manage to. So we'll get him back out. He's running really well, and then hopefully qualify for the summer area festivals or regionals with him.
Okay, right. So when are the winter regionals?
They are through May.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny, isn't it? Because you qualify in winter, but then you actually have the regionals in summer.
Because they were meant to be in January or February, and then so they got pushed back.
Okay, right. And then you've got Steve, so he's an ex-racehorse, am I correct?
Yeah, he is. He's been doing some online ROR tests.
Oh, cool.
He's getting really good. He's really sweet, and he tries really hard. And it's really interesting to train a different breed of horse again, because I hadn't ridden a thoroughbred before. Yeah. So it's really interesting getting to know him and his quirks and his what he's good at and his jumping.
Yeah. And so what are your plans with him?
So I'll carry on doing some ROR with him through the summer, and then I'll take him out show jumping and cross country schooling and see if we can get out and do a one-day event maybe one time.
Awesome.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be great. So obviously British Dressage have rejigged the season a little bit to kind of fit in everything that they lost last year. What does that mean for people wanting to qualify for areas and regionals?
So for the summer ones, they've halved the points that you need to get. Okay. So it should make it a lot easier because you've only got half the amount of time to qualify.
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
So how does the point system work? Do you have you compete and you have a cumulative number of points throughout the season, do you?
Yeah, you have to get a certain amount of points depending on what level and section you are.
Okay.
Depending on what your score you get, the higher the score, the higher amount of points. So it's quicker to get higher scores and qualify faster.
Okay, right. So what would you advise for riders who are planning to go to these competitions for their prep?
So I think get as much practice in as possible before you qualify for, if you're aiming for the regionals, try and do as many shows before then, but keeping your horse relaxed and calm, so they're not, when you go to them, they're not really hot and on their heads. So just keeping it like a normal relaxed shows, just getting used to it again, back in the swing.
Because for some people who didn't get out last summer, it's a long time since their horse and themselves have been competing. So like you say, it's good to get them used to that atmosphere again.
Yeah.
So what plans and aims do you have for the 2021 season, roughly? You've said a bit about with Jeb and Rocker. And what were you planning with Betty?
So Betty, we don't really compete her a lot anymore. She goes out and does a bit of show jumping as and when we can. So when she does get to go out, she's very happy to go out. But she's 22 now, so she's kind of just tapering back a bit, ready to not go out as much anymore.
And then Saman, who you won at Olympia in 2019, what are your plans? Is he still competing or?
Yeah, so we're really hoping to qualify him for the Royal International because the SSADL have moved their shows from Olympia to there. So we've never competed there before and I'd really love to. So we'll try and get out and do some qualifiers either in hand or ridden and just see how he does because he's going really well now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You're so busy. You've got so much to do. And you've got so many different seasons and competitions to keep an eye So how do you prepare for these top competitions?
Well, we kind of keep everything the same. We don't really, coming up to it, we don't change anything. We don't increase their work. If anything, we taper them back and just, instead of doing like a hard session, we just stretch them or hack them or do poles before. Just keep varying it, and we just don't really try and get them hot before, because then on the day they'll be too hot to perform. So it's more relaxation work before a show.
Okay. And for the championships, have you got an exact route that you're planning, and you want to go to these exact shows to get there, or have you got a rough idea?
It's more rough idea. We have to fit it in around school, so sometimes I'll get an afternoon off, but we try and fit it in on weekends. And there's British dressage it's normally weekdays, so it's quite difficult to get qualified. So if we see a weekend show, we will like put that firmly in diary and try and get to that and work out what classes we need to qualify for.
Okay. So you're saying you just went back to school on Monday? Yes. Yeah. So how was that?
It was interesting. It was nice to see my friends.
Yeah.
I prefer homeschooling just because I can go outside and ride pretty much whenever I like.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. Masks everywhere, which isn't
really
pleasant. So yeah.
Because I was seeing on your Instagram stories that you were going and in your lunch breaks whilst you were having homeschooling, you were going and riding too quickly.
Yeah.
So busiest person who's at school I've ever known.
Yeah.
Great. So this year we've got the Olympics and the European Championships. So who's your rider to watch in both, and why?
Well, I think obviously Charlotte. She's definitely the one to watch, because she's got a couple of really nice horses coming up. It'll be interesting to see what horse does what. Yeah. And then obviously you've got like Isabel and Catherine Dufour that they're always the ones to watch as well. It's just really interesting watching them ride and their different techniques. Or they've got quite a few horses each that are interesting and ones to watch.
It's really interesting when you get top riders who've got quite a few contenders who the selectors end up picking and who you think is the best, because it's not always the obvious choice, is it?
No, it's not. No.
And so which team or nation do you think will take home gold?
I think probably Germany that's probably the most likely. I'd like to say us. It could be us. It'll probably be quite tight to see who does get. Probably silver and bronze will be really close.
Yeah.
To watch, but I think probably Germany.
Yeah, Germans they are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah.
Full of questions for. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much. It's been so great to catch up. I'm so glad that you're back at school and everything's kind of turning back to normality, and that you've got a great plan for the season. I can't wait to come and see you competing soon when we're allowed. And yeah, we'll just look forward to sharing some vlogs throughout the season with you and everyone that you've got going competing at all different competitions. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up going to PE and showing as well. So thank you so much, Gracie. It's been great to catch up. And we'll see you soon. Bye.